Hello, well, welcome back to another edition of Quadrant 2 Project Management. I'm Kurt Bell, your Q2PM for the day. Today we're going to talk about a very important event in the life cycle of a project, and that is the kickoff meeting. Now, a lot of folks think that a kickoff meeting is the very first thing that will happen in a potential project. You know, you're kicking the things off, right? So your boss comes and they give you that little bit of information about the XYZ project that you're going to start. Well, the first thing you're going to do is reserve a conference room, collect a few names, the people that you think might be involved, and you're going to get them all in a room and kick that thing off. That might be a kickoff event in some places, but in this methodology, the kickoff meeting is a more formal event, and it doesn't actually take place until we actually have a signature on the phase project charter indicating that this is in fact a project, that we're going forward with this. Very importantly, if you recall back to the lesson that we had on the phase project charter, the project plan actually includes an email template. And that email template is from the sponsor or sponsors to the people that have been identified as participants. And it's sanctioning the project, basically giving you, the project manager, empowering you to run this project. And that's important because the people that you're working with need to know that you have the authorization, the blessing, and the backing of your sponsors to know to take this seriously. If you don't go through this process, you might find yourself in position with people who are duly and busy with all the things that they've got to do, and you're just one more thing. Moreover, you're somebody that they probably don't care too much about because they don't report to you, you're not a part of their unit, you're just a pesky project manager who's coming around bothering them for action items. However, if they got an email first from the sponsor, their boss's boss, or maybe their boss's boss's boss, telling them, congratulations, you're a part of this project. That guy, Kurt Bell, or whoever it is, he or she are the project manager or managers, start listening, start going to their meetings and start working with them on this endeavor. You're going to find that when you call people to that kickoff meeting, you're going to have more people in attendance and they're going to take you more seriously. So with that said, the project kickoff meeting occurs after the phase project charter is complete. I find with my project that I as a project manager here at Riverside County IT, my projects are typically application development projects or infrastructure projects. The projects themselves may last a year or more. I'm trying to parse that, tighten that up. But I typically find that it takes me at least a month, maybe 2 months, to get through the phase project charter. So don't feel bad if you find yourself a month and a half in and you haven't had a kickoff meeting, because I can tell you, you will have people coming and asking, including your sponsors, why haven't you had a kickoff meeting? And you've got to be prepared to give them an answer. And the answer is that you're doing your due diligence with regard to the charter. Once that charter is complete and the project is signed and the names have been identified, then you'll proceed with your kickoff meeting. And after you do that once or twice with a project, and you bring that project to successful completion, you deliver on time, within budget, and within scope, or deliver all your scope, you will find that your sponsors are going to be far more willing to take your word for it when you say, give me some time to do my upfront due diligence. And so your job gets easier. But the first couple of projects with this methodology, be careful, because people are going to want to hit the starting gun and off the blocks, start working. So let's talk about the actual kickoff meeting. So let's go ahead and go to the screen. And over here we have our Oingo Boingo World Tour. Now, when we create a new SharePoint project site for you, you'll have all the tools that we've covered so far in the tools series. One of those tools over here, of course, is the notebook. Let's just go ahead and open that up. What you'll find, let's get rid of this photo right here, this image. What you'll find inside the notebook is that there are 2 basic pages that are templates. Now, we're already a few meetings in on this particular project, so we have a couple of items over here under the pages. But there's basically 2 empty ones. The first is the team meeting template, and that's what you use to create a new copy every time you have a meeting. And then down here at the very bottom is the kickoff meeting. Once you're ready for the kickoff meeting, you'll want to grab that template and move it up into the top notch, the spot where it's going to take place. So don't expect your kickoff meeting, when you look back on your project, to appear as the very first page. It's going to appear 5, 10, maybe even items up. In this case, it's down below because I haven't used it yet. I'm going to click on it now. What I'm going to show you now is nothing more than a generic roadmap for a kickoff meeting. This is what I always endeavor to cover in my kickoff meetings. Sometimes a little more, sometimes a little less. Let's go over it really quick. We have about, wow, I'm only 7 minutes in and I'm doing a lot of progress, so maybe we won't need the whole 30 minutes today. So scrolling down just a little bit, or remaining there for just a second, let's go ahead and pretend like we're having the kickoff meeting today, okay? So the first thing I'm going to do today is 09/05/2019. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this item. I'm going to move it up here to the top. There we go. Let's put it in place. See how now it's in nice order. And the project is the Oingo Boingo 2020 World Tour. Let's take this other stuff out. Now I'm fastidious for my colors. Some people aren't. So I try to do it in that way. This is our kickoff meeting. The meeting is going to be held from 12. Boy, everybody's going to love me holding a lunchtime meeting. 12 p.m. to 12:30 p.m. The room will be and I always like to notice how this is facility room. In a big organization like ours, we got lots of offices, so I want to make sure I tell people where it is. And I like to tell them explicitly the address. And I don't remember the address here, so I'm just going to say RCIT. What's up? 14th Street, something, right? Yeah. Do you remember the address? No. 14th Street. RCIT. We're in the 4th. See, get rid of that. 4th floor. This is the think tank room. Good. Take off this stuff. The reason I'm doing that is that otherwise I'll lose my colors. And the dial-in number, well, let's just go ahead and put in number 999-999-9999. I think you can get cheap root insulation for your house at that number. Yeah, the code, I don't know what you can get. Insurance, isn't it? Yeah, insurance, something like that. Yeah, I got. And 326222. There we go. And the meeting organizer is yours truly. Great. For the record. Now, let's just imagine now today we have just one person, and this is the smallest class we've had yet. It's a holiday weekend, or holiday week, so it tends to do that. David, may I use your name?
Sure.
The full name?
Sure.
Okay, wow. Public figure.
I'll be famous after this.
Well, if I can spell it right with a Z.
With S.
S, there we go, yes, there we go. And you are RCIT, and your role in this will be like app developer? No, a web designer?
Yeah.
Okay, web designer. There we go. So you see what I'm beginning to do is I'm going to flesh out the identity of all the people that are going to be involved. Now, these names, quiz for you, David, where am I going to find these names? Based on what we've done so far.
Back in the charter.
Exactly. Which part of the charter? The plan. The plan, right. Nowhere will you really see any names until we get to the plan. Because the plan is where in the proposal we said we want to have this, we want to have a project, and we want to choose this particular option. Now we go out and we locate all the names. We go to the heads of each of the units that we're going to be involved with and say, give us a staff member and give us his or her backup. So we always want to have a name and a backup. But in the charter itself, in the project plan, it'll just be the names of the assignees, right? So it'll grow from there. At this point, it's just me and you, okay? All right, so we'll get to know each other well over this project. We're doing it all together. Now I'm going to put a check mark. Oh, wow, but I'm in this too, right? Yeah, RCIT project manager. Now if I have a customer involved too, I'll often divide them up, and I like to segregate all of my customers up front, just as you should, good practice. List your customers first, list all of our RCIT folks, and yours truly at the end. If it's a very complex project and I have a lot of stakeholders, I'll create another section for the stakeholders or sponsors. The reason I do that is that often the stakeholders and sponsors don't come to our weekly team meetings. And if I include them wholesale in with everybody else, it looks like they're not coming to the meetings, right? Because they're listed in there. But if I call them out separately, then I'll know, oh, that person's not here because she's a sponsor, right? So I don't expect her to be here. Yeah. But if she shows up, I can check marks. Yeah. Okay, both David and I are here. Okay, scrolling on down the log, just like in the normal notebook, would be where you record action items, decisions, risks, changes, etc. Now here's the actual agenda. David, what does the yellow mean?
That means it needs to be reviewed.
Yep. It's kind of a double whammy here. I've got the checkbox and the yellow, right? So it's a double thing. Usually anything with a checkbox means I want to talk about that. Yellow means it needs to be reviewed and it's still open, right? Probably I don't need the yellow here, but the checkbox will be enough, but it helps me to focus. So this is my agenda. Before I go into it, let me just kind of go over it really quick. Remember, as I just said, if you have an empty checkbox, we want to talk about that. We want to talk about that in the meeting. As your project goes on, this story is going to get very, very big. And you just gray out the stuff that you're done with and leave the check marks next to the stuff that you do. If you have a specialist meeting, maybe you're going to get together with just the engineering team and you don't talk about everything, well then you can just create a special agenda and take off the check boxes for the yellow items that you don't need to talk about with the engineers. That way you can use one story for any purpose. First thing, project overview. And a little note here. Use the PowerPoint slides, Project Kickoff Meeting presentation in the document library. So if you go over to your document library, SharePoint, don't make me a liar. There should be a document in here. There it is right there. That's a project closure. And it made me a liar. So I haven't included that in the template, so I'll note to self. So I did create a special PowerPoint presentation for the opening, for the kickoff meeting. And then there's another PowerPoint presentation for the closure meeting. So I just didn't add it into the template. But note to self, add kickoff slides. Well, the good news is that you don't have to do it yourself. You can open these templates up and just fill in the blanks with your project, and it'll make it a little easier. It also provides a nice uniform look and feel for our projects, for those of us using the methodology. So I'm going to open the project like this. Hello everybody, welcome to this XYZ project. I'm Kurt Bell, I'll be your project manager. I'm going to go over a few things on our list right here and I'll explain the agenda, explain how this works. This is our notebook and the like, and we're going to talk about all the things with a check mark next to it. And with that, I begin. The project name, this is the Oingo Boingo World Tour. Why was I saying XYZ before? Oingo Boingo 2020 World Tour. The project objective is to take the band Oingo Boingo around the world in the year of 2020 for their select venues. The project due date, it's going to be all complete by December of 2020. We're not going to bleed into 2021. And let's do a quick round of introductions. Now, for the introductions, sometimes I'm sure you've all been in meetings, excuse me, where people just say, "Hi, I'm Martin. You know, I'm a Sagittarius. I like walks on the beach," right? No, we don't want any of that. What I do with my projects is I go to and this takes a little investment, but it really pays off. I go to the people, everyone that I'm going to invite beforehand, and I reserve some time with them, and I sit with them. This takes about 10 minutes, and I introduce myself, I introduce the project, I explain to them their role, which is obvious, they know what their role is, but this is a level set. So we both understand that you are an application developer, you are a trainer, you are a web designer, you are a DBA. Your role in this is, developing an app, designing web parts, maybe making training or creating databases and managing those databases. The reason that this is the case is that when we get, and I'll tell them this, when we get to the meeting, when I ask you to introduce yourself, what I'd like you to do, please, is tell us who you are and why you're here. What is your role in this project? Not just that I'm Kurt and I'm a project manager. No, my name is Kurt. I'm a project manager, and my job here is to shepherd this project along to successful completion. I'm the person that you need to talk to if you've got problems or issues or something that you need to be communicated with. I'm the coordinator for this project. And then go on to the next person. Hi, my name is Lyle Bell. I'm a systems administrator. My role in this project will be to engineer, design, and implement servers that will be in support of the project. I'll be the person to contact, your main line of contact for all systems-related issues. Now, of course, in a perfect world, not everybody's going to talk like that, but you get the idea. They come to and that does a couple of things. It clearly lets everybody know in the room what those people those jobs are doing. Oh, back up. The first thing it does, the fact that I came to them and sat with them, that conveys to them that this is something that at least I'm taking it very seriously. They're more likely to take it seriously too if they see that I'm taking it seriously. And as we go around the room, we all get a clear idea of what we're doing. In a perfect world, I mean, if this happens, go buy lottery tickets because the stars and the numbers are on your side. In the perfect world, they're going to show up and their backup is going to be with them. And it's going to go like this. My name is Lyle Bell. I'm the Supervisory and Systems Administrator for RCIT for this particular project, and I'll be overseeing the my unit team members as they work on this. And this is Lucas. Lucas is going to be the Systems Administrator who will be doing the work. Wow, what a world that would be, right? Because you got the guy or gal that's doing the work and the person to whom they are accountable. Whew, man. Okay, so there we go. Go around the room, name, role, responsibility, who is your backup. Okay, don't let them get a slip without getting you a backup, right? They won't sometimes. It's really important because we know, especially with these longer projects, people get sick, heaven forbid, they retire, they move, vacation, they go work somewhere else. And then they take all that stuff with them. Okay. Next, any questions at this point? Is that all pretty good? Pretty clear?
Yeah.
Okay, next, project meeting schedule. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be meeting once a week. Initially, as we roll out, as we ramp up towards project. We're starting off with a small group. Initially, this is the core group. Sometimes this group just consists of supervisors. And as we begin to move forward, you'll find that the group will begin to split. It doesn't fracture in a negative way. It fractures by role and responsibility. The training team might spin off and begin having their own meetings. Likewise, the sysadmins, whoever the case may be. We need to track that. That's what these sections are for over here. You can create sections over here on the left to have, right now we have team meetings. You can also have meetings for your DBA team, whatever the case, and their agendas might be different. So there we go. That's our schedule. We're going to be meeting once a week. You'll all get invites. The meeting will include a Skype link and also a phone number where you can dial in for conference. Please do both, because if you just come in on the Skype, your microphone, and this is what I tell the team, your microphone will be limited to what's picked up on my laptop. So some guy that's sitting way over there, you're not going to hear what they're saying. But if you call in on the phone, you're going to have the much better quality audio of our Polycom system. You're going to be hearing everybody. Okay, SharePoint site. What's a SharePoint? I sometimes ask people, and they say, well, I don't know. A lot of people don't know what a SharePoint is. Well, I then take them to our SharePoint site and I explain the fact that we run our projects out of SharePoint Online and that this project has its own website. I then explain to them that I'm about to, one of my first action items is I'm going to share this site with them. Very careful to do this in front of them. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your SharePoint site for the Oingo Boingo World Tour 2020, of which you are all a part. The first thing I'm going to do, the very first action item for me as of this meeting, is to send you all a link to this site. So up here in the log, I'm going to say, click for title, share project site link. Send the entire team a link to the SPO team site. SPO means SharePoint Online. The supervisor is going to be Mike S., my boss. It's assigned to me, and my backup will be is going to be Juan. He's the other project manager on the project. I'm going to do this today. I'm not going to give myself any time. Actually, I'll give myself till tomorrow. Take that back. And this is this an action item, a task, an issue, a decision, or a change?
It's an action item.
It is an action item. The formal definition of an action item is something that comes up in the course of a meeting or a discussion that's a piece of work that needs to be done that wasn't formally outlined in the plan. We didn't identify that as a task that needed to be done, but we know that it needs to be done, so we record it as such. Good, ladies and gentlemen, so that's my first action item. Now you see I recorded the action item, explained to them how I'm recording this, and why do you think I'm putting so many names up? Who cares who the supervisor is?
Accountability.
Accountability, right. So if Kurt's dragging his heels, I can go talk to Mike. If Kurt calls in sick, I can go talk to Juan. I'm covered, yeah. All right, so scrolling on down, we've got the SharePoint site. I've explained that. Now this would be a longer tour. I would show them the whole site. It takes 10 or 15 minutes to do this well. And if you do it in an engaging way, they'll be interested. And speaking of engaging, where did the time go? Now we're down to 6 minutes. We're almost done. Project information. Any extraneous information that they need to know. Details about the project. Maybe, for example, maybe State of California has implemented some deadline or some regulatory deadline that goes into effect in December 2020 or whatever. Or maybe for this case, the project information is that the band has decided they're going to retire at the end of 2020, right? And that's why we have a hard deadline. We can't go into 2021 because they're done. They bought themselves an island in the Caribbean. Yep. Now, the last part, this looks like it's a lot right here, but it's not. If you follow these videos to this point, you're familiar with the fact that we have a 10-step methodology for running projects consisting of 4 phases. The pre-project evaluation phase, the planning phase, the execution phase, and the closure phase. And there's 10 steps within them. I will now spend in my meeting about 5 minutes explaining what all of these steps are. I'm not going to bore you with that right now. You'll get that by watching this larger series. This is going to be the skeleton of our story. A very mature project. In fact, let's just take a quick look at a really mature project. So put that in your mind. Put that in your mind real quick. This piece right here. Okay, that's all it is, right? These 10 steps in red. Just put that in your mind, and this is it. We're almost done. Let us go into our Windows 10 project, the one we've been tracking in this project. Open up the notebook for that. Now, again, skeleton, Frankenstein monster. Skeleton, Frankenstein monster. If this is the skeleton of a project starting out, this is the Frankenstein monster, and I only use that to be silly, but this is what a project looks like after a year of work. Let's, as soon as it loads, there we go. Scrolling down, down, down. Look at all, you can see some of those red items, right? And they have items underneath it. Those are work that came up along the way. You can see that in step 4 of the project plan, a whole bunch of tasks came up. They're tasks because we knew they had to be done. They were identified in the plan. That's why they're not action items. And the people that had to do it. Scrolling on down, now we're into the evaluation phase. Look at all, or execution phase. Look at all of the work we had to do. All of it's done. Each of these linked items is an action item that had to be performed. This is how we don't miss anything. This is how the project gets to completion with nothing left open, because we've got everything recorded and we've made sure we've graded out when it's done. In just a minute, we're going to see a few items. This project is in its project finished yesterday. So let's see what I've got left to finish this project formally. Actually, the deployment finished. Look at all these things are done. Oh, okay, something yellow under deployment. What is it? Look at all those things. Look at all those issues we dealt with. Wow. Oh, there they are. 1, 2, 3. I've got 3 items to take care of for this project. 3 items are left. And I'm going to take care of them at today's 4 o'clock meeting. One is we have a list called the cannot locate list. We got to make sure we tidy up. That doesn't mean we can't find the list. It just means that we couldn't find computers in the field and we've got a list of them. And we've also got the refresh sites. We're just holding that open until we're done. And then these swollen batteries with these Dell 7440s, which we've resolved by taking those machines out of the field. That's it. When those things are done at 4 o'clock today, I'll gray those 3 things out. There's nothing left for me to do except schedule the closure meeting, right? And have this closure report. That's the beauty, if I do say so myself, of taking the time to add all of the items to your story. You can go to sleep at night not worrying that you've forgotten anything, but it takes a little bit of investment. I'm looking dearly in the camera's eyes. It takes a little investment up front, but it will pay great dividends for you later. So I hope you'll consider doing that. And with that, we're just about down to the bottom. Oh, last part, if you're an RCIT or DPSS person, project charge code. County of Riverside requires us to have a charge code for a lot of our projects. And so identify what that project charge code is, include it in here, communicate that to the team so they can add it to their timesheets. Any questions?
Nope.
All right, well, hopefully that's clear to everybody, what you can do. Like I said, you can choose not to do this. You can have a kickoff meeting up front in which the formality will be out of the way and you can move on to the project. But if you wait and you tell your sponsors, give me the time I need to do my due diligence, to make a proper charter and contract, to to properly identify what needs to be done, to lay out the scope, to get signatures on the dotted line about what we're actually going to do and what we're not going to do that is related to this project. If you do that, and then you have your kickoff meeting is going to look and feel a lot more professional and meaningful. And in the end, you're going to be really glad that you did. And with a little bit of practice, do this a couple of times with your sponsors, they're going to expect it of you. In fact, if I've had it happen where they're like, well, okay, well, here's the thing. We'll have the kickoff meeting in a month or so, right? Yeah, that's right. Because you got to do your stuff, right? Or whatever that is you do. Yeah, that's right. That's what it takes. We get there. Okay, well, I think that's it. I'm going to make sure I have no more coffee for the day. I don't know why I'm so energetic. I don't even have.
Calisthenics, that's why.
That's why I was doing some Japanese exercises before the start of the class.
I should have done that. I started to get tired and started to yawn. That's probably because I didn't have lunch.
There's probably cake on the 5th floor.
Yeah, I gotta go there.
There you go. And all of you, if you have any interest in learning more about this methodology, please visit us on YouTube at Q2PM. You got all of our videos are out there. If you're a County of Riverside employee, check us out on Core Learning. We have the whole video series there as well, and you can get a Q2 project management certification, something to add to your resume if you decide that you want to apply for a project management or a business systems analyst position here at RCIT with an aim towards becoming a project manager. We certainly need more people with these skills, and I would be happy to answer any questions. It's kbell@rivco.org if you'd like to reach out to me anytime. Also, check us out on YouTube. We're on Twitter too. We even have Instagram, but I don't put much up there.
You guys are social.
We are social. That's right. Yes, I'm more of an anti-social social club when I'm not at work. Well, anyway, TMI. I hope you guys all have a great day, and remember, make every meeting count, matter.
Make it matter.
Make it matter. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.